This is Bartop, the channel dedicated to shooting safely,
talking about guns,
and having fun at the range. Welcome back, YouTube. This is Bartop. This is part 2 of our Remington 1148 review. As you may remember, we did a benchtop review on this a couple weeks ago. And as promised, we did take it out and shoot it, not only to test the function of the gun, but also to test that funky poly choke at the end.
Yeah, funky it is.
It is. We'll talk about that in a little bit. We also wanted to compare it to a modern shotgun.
This is a Mossberg 512 gauge. It has a 28-inch barrel on it, and it has screw-in chokes.
We also got our hands on a modified cut-down shotgun. This one was not made with this length of barrel. Somebody has cut that down. That is empty and safe here. If you hold that, we will show you that it is legal. So we have 18.5 inches on that. We wanted to compare the poly choke to the Mossberg, and we also wanted to compare it to an 18-inch barrel. The Mossberg also has an 18-inch barrel, which we use.
Yeah, changeable barrel.
So we actually have a comparison between this 18-inch barrel and the 18-inch barrel on the Mossberg, again at 40 yards, cylinder bore. And the last thing we did with this is we tested this barrel versus the long barrel on this Remington at a target at 21 feet. We just wanted to see if a longer barrel opens up more or less than a short barrel. In order to test choke, you shoot against a target and then you count the number of pellets that land inside a 30-inch circle at 40 yards. We decided to take 2 shots on each choke level at 1 piece of paper. And we did that for a couple reasons. We just thought it'd be easier and quicker than going and changing paper twice as often. And we thought there's no harm in taking 2 different shots. We're just going to double the number of shots as a possibility.
Get an average.
Count the shots, get an average, and then calculate our percentage. It works just as if we were going to do one. I think if you wanted to do it the right way, I think you would probably take 1 shot per paper and probably anywhere between 3 to 10 shots on each choke.
Similar to rifle testing.
Interesting to note, we compared a 16 gauge with a 12 gauge.
And that was eye-opening for me. I'm not a shotgun expert by any means. It dawned on me for the first time that you can take a 16 gauge loaded with 1 ounce of 6-shot versus a 12 gauge 6-shot loaded with 1 ounce, and you get exactly the same pellet count, because they're the same size.
An ounce is an ounce.
An ounce is an ounce, no matter what it's coming out of.
They all use number 6 shot with 1 ounce of shot, and that was lead shot. So our pellet count on each shot should be between 222 and 225 pellets per shot. We shot each target twice. We should be getting counts between 444 and 450 pellets.
He did the counting.
Yeah. By counting the number of pellet strikes that we had inside that circle, we can determine the percentage of shot that hit. By that measurement, then we can determine how close our chokes were. If this poly choke says full choke, how did that measure up? Let's go see what we did out in the field. Okay.
Now I'm running.
1148, poly choke, full choke, shot 2.
You're rolling.
Alright, so now we're going to go and test out modified. Just turn it to the modified position, run a couple shots through it, see what happens.
Getting a little raw there.
Okay, now we're going from modified to improved cylinder.
Alrighty, so this is the Mossberg 512 gauge, and we're starting with full choke. Same progression as before.
Okay. All right, we're rolling. Okay.
Alright, so that concludes the Mossberg for that barrel. Alright, so this is the Mossberg with an 18-inch barrel, which is a just a cylinder bore barrel, and 2 shots, same distance, 40 yards. Alright, see what we got.
And there's markings on the
I
barrel.
have a slight feeling that's going to have a little bit of recoil. You could shoot left-handed. Let's start working on the other shoulder.
So now we're going to shoot a truly American modified cut down hillbilly style shotgun, 12 gauge. Obviously it's going to be a cylinder bore, and we're going to see how that patterns.
Didn't blow up, that's good.
Yep, that's good.
It blew up out the right end. Oh, there goes the wadding.
Yep.
Okay, so this is the, what is this? Cut down shotgun.
I can't read it. I need to do some more research on it. I don't know what it is.
Cut down 18-inch-ish shotgun, 21 feet. There goes the wadding and something else. Yeah. Okay. Oh. All right.
Okay.
I feel like I need to raise the pirate flag and buckle my swash on that thing or something.
Now we're going to try the same target at 21 feet using a long barrel. I'm going to adjust my poly choke down from improved cylinder. I can actually go back to where it says full again. This should be pretty close to an open cylinder here. At least that's a guess. Let's see what happens. I'm going to fire 2 shots. So that was our range session. Now let's pull out some targets and take a look at them. These were the targets that we had set up at 40 yards. In order to do an accuracy test, we started with a 30-inch circle, dead center. This is what we shot at, but that's not the way you perform a choke test. A choke test, you shoot at a blank piece of paper, and then you take a 30-inch circle and you find your focus. So we kind of did 2 tests in one. I wanted to see how accurate that Remington is. As we go through these targets, you'll see that sometimes this circle didn't move very much. That meant we had an accurate shot. The more you see this second circle move, the less accurate the shot was. The first one that we did, this was the Remington full choke. The first count that we got on the center circle was 154 pellets. When I recounted and targeted my focus of this, I came up with a shot count of 285 pellets. That gives us a result of about 64% hitting inside of our focus. Remember, on a full choke, we're looking for 70. So we're close. That's not too bad. I can live with that. Gonna go quickly. I know this video is getting kind of long. Plus the Broncos are about to play. Yeah. Let's look at the Mossberg full choke target. Our first count, we got 282 in our first circle. When I refocused our circle, I came up with 305 shots. Look at the difference between how far these circles are off compared to the Remington. These are much closer, which means that Mossberg, either the shotgun or the shooter, was much more accurate than the Remington.
Shooter.
So 305 pellets in there, we come up with an average of about 68-69% hitting our focus. Again, we're looking for 70, we're right there with this. Now we're going to move to the Remington modified choke. Again, our circles are pretty far off. My first count, initial count, came up with 144. When I refocused my circle, I came up with 209. That gives us a result of about 47%. On a modified choke, we're looking for 60. Mossberg modified choke. Again, circles very close to each other. We're looking at 263 and 273. So even if I hadn't moved this circle off very much, we're going to get pretty much the same average. But I decided to try it again. We got an extra 10 counts. 273 on this gave us a result of 60 to 61%. That's exactly what we're looking for on a modified choke. All right, now we're going out to improved choke. This is the Remington. Now this didn't move very much. On this shot, on these two shots at least, the Remington performed pretty well. It was accurate. Initially got a count of 195. When I refocus my circle, I get a count of 216. On an improved cylinder, we're looking for 50. So that gives us about a 48%. Now we move to the Mossberg improved cylinder. I originally counted this and I came up with 204. I did a refocus on it, and as you can see, I only gained 1 pellet. So I looked at it again and I decided that I could actually capture some more pellets by going a little farther up here. My recount yielded a 211 count. So we did improve it a little bit. Sometimes it is hard to tell just by judging by your eye where you're going to find the focus. Anyway, with a 211 count, that gives us a result of 47%. Now we're patterning the 18-inch barrels. These should be cylinder bores. We're looking for an average of 40% inside a circle. On the Mossberg 18-inch, our original count was 124 pellets. When I refocus a circle, I came up with 137 pellets. That gives us a result of about 30 to 31%. So we're down by about 10%. And I do see a little bit more shot up here. There's no way that I could refocus the circle and catch that because it's kind of all over. Not necessarily the 18-inch barrel, it's the cylinder bore that really spreads the shot out even more. For your information, these targets are 54 inches by 54 inches. We are covering almost all of that. This is the ERA single shot hacksawed cut down shotgun. We're not accurate with it. But if we look at our refocus, we're getting 166 pellets in that focus. That gives us a result of 37 to 38%. We're right there. This actually outperformed the Mossberg with the 18-inch barrel. It's interesting results. We're going to get the 21-foot targets up and we'll show you those. All right, so the last thing we're going to look at are the two targets that we shot at 21 feet. The first target was shot with the cut down, the ERA shotgun. And this is the pattern that we found on that. I imagine if we counted all these little holes, we should come up with around 444 in there. Okay, let's look at the Remington. Okay, we have shot. Looks to me like maybe these are a little bit more focused. Either way, that's a bad day for somebody if they're breaking into your house, or anybody or anything that's 21 feet away from you. So let's start by talking about the 1148. I mean, as far as the shotgun itself, though, if we're just talking about the shotgun,
that's a nice gun.
It functioned really nice.
Yeah.
It's very light if you were going to use it for hunting. It's super light to carry around all day.
It's reliable on the range.
And it's very reliable.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, the semi-automatic shotgun is very fun to shoot. Mm-hmm. It is so much more fun than a pump
Well, and you
action.
had a target there where you were doing pretty rapid fire, and we got decent accuracy out of that. I mean, you had no trouble handling the recoil or staying on target, so that's pretty slick.
Right. And I think it's a good-looking shotgun.
It is.
And it has very nice lines, especially with that 28-inch barrel and the poly choke.
Yeah.
It just makes it look smooth and clean and a little bit menacing. Mm-hmm. And I just love it. All in all, I really like the 1148.
Yep.
And if I come across any more for a good price, I'll buy them. So now let's go back and talk about the poly choke.
Yeah. The one thing that was strange, though, is how the percentage in the ring did not change for those two choke settings. Mm-hmm. From the modified to
from improved to modified,
it didn't change.
It didn't change hardly at all.
Which is
it stayed right
normal.
around 47-48%.
Yeah.
So we were way off on the modified. And you have to understand, that's a 50-year-old shotgun, and that poly choke may be that old also. We don't know what kind of abuse people have put that thing through for the last 60 years.
Mm-hmm. It makes a lot of sense. You can so quickly change it. I mean, if I have to change a choke in mine, you're talking 2 minutes. By the time I find my lost key and take out the choke, that's serious.
If it's cold, like it was when we were out shooting, that makes it even harder. And if you lose your tool or your choke, you have to wait till you get back to a sporting goods store to change your choke.
Right.
So I think there are some benefits to it. Well, let's talk about the cylinder bore. That pattern at 21 feet looked very similar to an 18-inch barrel with a cylinder bore. So I think we can assume that cylinder bore is cylinder bore.
Yeah.
So at improved cylinder, we were close. We were, what, 48? Again, that actually barely beat out the Mossberg.
You're supposed to have 50.
Out of 50.
Yeah.
The Mossberg patterned at 47. We got 48.5% on that. Okay, so it worked there. Now, we don't know what happened at modified, but when you go up to full, you know, it was a little low. It got outperformed by the Mossberg, but we're still at 63 to 64%.
Yeah.
So number one, you can see that the choke does work. When you put it on full, it focuses it more than a cylinder bore.
Absolutely.
And with the indexing on it, you should be able to get your modified improved. So for this test, we showed that it worked.
Yeah.
We showed that it's not up to spec.
Right.
But neither was the Mossberg. The Mossberg was very close on all three settings.
Yeah. And I'll bet you if you were to go out and purchase a new poly choke, it might solve all of those things.
It may work a lot better.
You may try someday, who knows?
The other thing to say about the poly choke, one of the downsides is I don't think you're supposed to use steel shot through that.
Yeah.
You know?
I wonder if they have new ones now that you can.
They may.
Yeah.
I'm not so.
Because I mean, with modern materials and machining and design and computer, you know, I mean, you can make a hell of a poly choke.
Yeah.
So where are they?
I'm very curious as to what happened.
Yeah.
It seemed like in the 50s it was a great idea.
Yeah.
It never quite caught on. All in all, you know, that was a fun test. We got to shoot our shotguns, which is always a fun thing for us to do. I think shooting at 21 feet was a fun thing to do.
Yeah. Some people out there think you're going to get this, you know, you're going to hit the whole wall, and that does not happen. Instead, you hit a circle maybe about that big on a person, which is a good thing, really, when you're thinking about it. You don't want a gun that hits the whole wall. You don't know what you're going to end up hitting, so.
Right. So from a personal defense perspective then, you really can't take advantage of a shot spread for
Shot placement is still important as the takeaway.
Absolutely.
Just because you have a shotgun, you can't be a lousy shot. Especially with a shotgun, because they never hold as much as many other guns. Shot placement is always important.
Always. I don't think that we saw much difference in the barrel length at 21 feet.
No.
The spread was about the same.
Takeaway from that is, does cutting down your shotgun somehow improve it as a defense weapon? It's not about the spread that you're improving, and that's where a lot of myths exist, I think.
Yes.
On the other hand, is an 18-inch a lot easier to wield in your house? Heck yeah.
It is somewhat easier.
Yeah, I mean, 18 versus 28 is significant.
But is an 18 that much harder to wield than a 4-inch in your hand?
Correct.
Of course it is.
And you get into a world of options if you're talking an 18-inch shotgun. Why wouldn't I have my 30-round AR?
There you go. Again, with the capacity.
Same length, and I'd argue shorter length because you're holding it differently. You've got more gun behind you.
I think that about does it for this video.
Yeah.
If you have any comments, please let us know.
You bet.
Let us know any way that we can improve our channel. Please like us and tell all your friends. Have them all subscribe to us. We'll see you next time.